The following presentation of 21 the Podcast is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome into 21 the podcast where we talk about all the things that matter.
When I first started jacking off, I was doing it wrong.
Bugs don't normally bug me, but you know what? Bugs bug the shit out of me.
Like, cool, this dude just showed me a picture of his dick. Never in my life has that been a way someone's introduced themselves to me.
Oh, he's from Freeport. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And of course, we play blackjack. I'm your host, Drew, at Mr. Oh So Cool.
Wow. You know what I'm saying?
And the least qualified producer I could find, Marcos Morales, at Dirt City Studios. And here's a live view of today's guest. Again, thanks for tuning in to 21 the Podcast. Make sure you subscribe before you go. Other than that, enjoy the show. Bitch! All right, we are fucking live. It's 21 the motherfucking podcast. My name is Drew at Mr. Oh So Cool. As always, I got my producer, Mr. Marcos Morales, with me at Dirt City Studios. Now, a few things before we jump into shit. Sorry I wasn't here last week, but we are back, motherfucker. And in case you forgot, we take shots for fucking money. So all you gotta do is click that fucking super chat, that little dollar sign down there in the comments, and we will take a shot for you motherfuckers. It's gonna start out at $10. Any other super chats, we'll answer your comments, anything like that. Another thing I do want to mention is our sponsor, and that is Bovada. If you go to 21thepodcast.com/Bovada, you can bring Las Vegas into your home with live table games, slot machines, blackjack, anything you could imagine for your gambling needs. And today we have a very special guest. That is Mr. David Shabani. And I'm saying that correctly, right?
Yes, correct.
Bro, thank you for coming through, man.
Thank you for having me.
So the first thing I usually get people to do whenever they come in is look into this camera right here and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, what's good, y'all? My name is David Shabani. I'm a rapper, songwriter, musician, if you will. Based in Austin, originally from Dallas, by way of Montreal, Quebec, and Kinshasa, Congo. Of course, Paris as well. But yeah, you know the vibes. Full on Texan these days, so I know I shout out a lot of places, man. Shout out to Toronto.
Yeah.
On the beat.
Yo, so is Quebec Canada?
Yes, Quebec is Canada. But that's a good question, actually, because a lot of Canadians, when they find their way to Quebec, they don't feel like they're in Canada, if that makes any sense. They feel like they're in a different place. So.
Why is that? Is it kind of like suburbs, like or not suburbs, but more like a city, like in the U.S. or?
Nah. So actually, opposite. Quebec is a province. So what we have here in the United States, we have states. So they have provinces, which is essentially the same thing. But Quebec is the only like French-speaking province, and so they feel there's kind of a natural like cultural separation a little bit between Quebec and the rest of Canada. But I lived in Montreal for a long time, and I lived in Hamilton, which is Toronto, pretty much, for a long time. So I've seen it from both sides. But
is the French Canadians have a little bit of a different dialect than regular French. Is that right?
Yeah. Then like French from France.
Do you speak French?
Yeah, I speak French. Yeah.
Do you speak French Canadian or?
Yeah. So so what they would call it Québécois or like La Joie if you're from there. So yeah, people from France or any other kind of French speaking place. It could be like from Africa, from Belgium. When they get to Montreal, it's tough for them to pick up the style of French that's over there, that's in Quebec. But in Quebec, the people who speak French there, it's easy for us to pick up, French from France or wherever else.
Do like the French speak about French Canadians as if they're like hillbillies or something?
Yeah, they're definitely haters. I'll say that. But what's wild is so I know I keep saying a bunch of different places, but I was born in France.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of family in Paris. And so I've heard it from both sides. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of my family in Paris, they might watch the news. I might send them a clip of the news in Quebec, and they're like, "What is this?
Yeah,
what
are they even talking about?"
Yeah, so it's like that, man. But I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about languages, diversity. Things are different in different places, and it's just like that. But
so you said you were born in Paris,
yeah,
and so your manager actually told me, and shouts to Andy for getting Shabani on the show today. There was a special way of coming from Paris to Texas. Like there was an entire journey.
Yeah, I mean, so my whole family's from Congo. Everybody in my family's from Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo. At the time, it was called Zaire. And so my mom.
Do you speak Congolese also?
So what we speak in the capital, Kinshasa, is we speak Lingala. And so I speak Lingala. I can understand it very well. I speak it, but I don't really communicate in it that often, if that makes sense. But my mom speaks to me in Lingala. And so her and her sisters will speak to each other in Lingala. And, that's the music you hear like in a lot of the popular language. When you go to church, often you're if I go to weddings, often everything is in Lingala. So it's a language I was, raised in, but I usually spoke, to my family. I would speak to them in French, and maybe my mom would speak back in Lingala. And so, but then my mom's also from a region known as Kasai, and over there they speak Chiluba. And so that's another language that my mom speaks that I don't understand, but I just know, I can tell when she's speaking that language, but it's not the language that I speak.
Right.
So my family was born in, my family was raised in Congo, and my mom, though, when she was pregnant, left Congo and then lived in Europe for some time, I guess. And then so I was born in France on her time, in her time leaving, in her time when she was in France, leaving Congo. So the thing is, how like here in the United States, you remember when they used to say anchor babies?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So they had this idea that someone's gonna come here from south of the border, have a baby, and now they're stuck here because the baby is automatically American.
Right.
That's not the case in France. So if you're born in France to undocumented immigrants, you don't get papers. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So they're like, we don't care. Show me the receipts that show me that you're actually French.
Yeah.
And so I was born in France, but with no papers. So I was born in France, but I was still a naturalized citizen of the Democratic Republic of Congo. So then my mom had to, hustle, figure out a way to get to Canada. And the reason why is because, like I said before, Canada is a French-speaking place. So it's like, Quebec is. And so it's like, it'd be like going to the United States, right? If you're from, the old world and you're trying to go to the United States without having to pick up the language, you can just go to Quebec because it's like the next best thing, if not the better thing, for some people might say. So, so she, she was able to get enough resources to get to France. To get to Canada. And then what's crazy is then, I don't know if I should say this on air, but what happened is,
oh, fuck it, man.
Beyond that, like from our time living in Quebec, when we moved to the United States, back then, it was pre 9/11. The Canadian and the U.S. Canadian border, I don't know if you know this, but it's the least secure border in the world.
Yeah.
And so you can just like bounce.
At least it was. It may be,
I think it might have changed
in the past few months.
Exactly.
Right.
Because of COVID and all that shit. And then even like it was 9/11 and then, COVID. But when we were younger, it was back and forth. Like no one cared. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, I'm going over there for what? I got to go to that store. All right, cool. Go through. So then I ended up living, it was weird because I ended up living in, being raised in Texas, but because we weren't able to get French papers, my papers say.
All right. Maybe we shouldn't say this on air.
No, that's what I'm trying to say.
Because the card might not be the color of this table.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm trying to say. So it's like, there's a lot of
moving parts. Yeah. Did whenever 21 Savage had some shit go on like that, and it's it's exactly. So I forgot about that. So man, then you're right. Thanks for saving me. Yeah,
because I got comfortable.
Right. Hey, bro. Welcome to the crib, bro.
But that's what I was going to tell you about. That's what got me in trouble. Like when I was 19, I don't remember why, but I went back to Hamilton. I went back to Toronto, or I'll just say Hamilton. I went back to Hamilton, and I tried to come back. I went back to Hamilton for the summer, let's say, like after college, after the first college year. And so I'm in Hamilton. I tried to come back then, or not even back then, but the way I would do it is I would fly into Buffalo, and then you drive over, you take a bus over to Hamilton. Same thing. Hamilton, you drive into the Buffalo, New York, and then you fly down to Texas. And so I took a bus down, and I get to the border, and they take everybody to come through. Usually it's just like, all right, cool. What are your intentions in Texas? Whoop de whoop, cool, come through. All right, you good. This one time, because I had done this hundreds of times, but this one time, I'm coming through, and the dude's looking at this is the screen, I guess, and he's looking at me, and he's like, all right, how long have you been doing this? And I'm like, what are you referring to, sir?
This seems a little personal.
What are you talking about? I love traveling. And he's like, no, how long have you been going back and forth and overstaying your stay in the United States? And I'm like, I don't know what to say. When you caught like red-handed,
right.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what am I going to say? And so the dude's like, so then he sees, he has all my information. He could tell where I was and what year, what school I went to, my different addresses. He had all this info. Fuck. He turns the screen around. He's showing me all this. Is like, did you go to this high school? Did you go to this middle school? You had this address. I'm like, damn. Okay. Like, okay, damn. Like, y'all got me. Yeah. You got me. I don't have to tell you. So then they're like, who's your sponsor? Who do you live with over there?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I live with my parents. I don't have to tell you. And so then they call my moms. And this is like 2 a.m. They call my moms and my step pops, and they're like, yo, they start like haggling on the phone, like, yo, what's your alien number? What's your alien number? And I'm like, who knows? Do people know that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And then my mom's on the phone with me, like, why'd you tell them you were I don't know, undocumented? I'm like,
just going off on you in Bengala.
Exactly. I got the cop. I got my mom's. I'm like, yeah, but they caught me. What am I? That song I love by Shaq, It Wasn't Me.
Yeah.
The lyrics say, I caught you red-handed, I saw you on camera.
Yeah.
And Shaggy's like, nah, it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
And I'm like, am I supposed to say that? No, y'all got it, So then the dude's like, they're going through they're ripping my stuff. Like, I swear they thought I was moving drugs from Buffalo. Right. And I'm like, relax. So they're going through my stuff. So then like, they sit me down, they put me in handcuffs. I'm like, damn, they for real. So then they bring me back up, and I'm like, all right. What's good? What's the verdict? And then the dude's like, what you committed today is an immigration violation. And so the penalty, like the punishment for this violation is 10 years exile. And I'm like,
exile to where?
Relax. Exactly. I'm like, sir, let's tone it down a little bit. Relax.
Let's talk about this
10
for a
years
minute.
is a long time. 10 years? Come on, dog.
Right.
And exile isn't like, go take your ass back to Canada. You can't come back to the States for another 10 years.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, relax. You know what I'm saying? So
the fact that they call it exile just sounds so much worse.
I guess there's a difference between an exile and deportation. Mm-hmm. One of those things, but they were like, either way, get the hell out. So I'm like, all right, relax. So then I didn't panic. I'm trying to reason with the man. I'm like, listen, 10 years is a lot. I'm chilling, I came through as a kid. Like, I'm sorry that I have these 2 different places that I call home, but like you're changing my life right now. Like,
right.
Chill out for a minute. So then I see some other dude come in his ear, and they're talking to him. And while they're going through my shit, they see my college transcript, and they see like the dorm that I lived in and all this other college info or whatever. So then the dude's like, all right, we see that you're just trying to get back to school, and we looked at your records. You have no like criminal record. And we see that you've already applied for this, green card or whatever. So we're going to act like today didn't happen, but you can't come back in until that the papers get clear.
Until it's all clear. Yeah.
Exactly. So then that's why I ended up living in Hamilton for like a year and a half.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah.
So, I won't ask the question directly. We'll talk about that after the show. But thankfully, you're here.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
And so, with all that, we're going to go to your first hand of blackjack. Now, you've told me you understand the basic premise of it, right?
Yeah.
Marcos, where's my... when I say blackjack, I want music.
Yeah, I know. It took music.
I just want it. Thank you. All right, so you know the basic premise of
Yes.
blackjack. So you want to get closer to 21 than I do without going over. So being as though you know the basic premise, we'll just go ahead and start playing your first hand. Now your first card is a 10. And your second card is a jack. So what do you got there, number-wise?
Am I tripping? 20, wait, 21?
All face cards are 10 as well.
Oh, shit.
So you
I
got
thought it was
20.
11.
Ace is an 11 or a 1. That's the only one that's 11. So you got 20 right there.
So then I would not play. Don't hit me.
You're going to stay right there. All right, cool. And I got a 5, Marcos. And my second card is a 9, so I'm looking at 14. Draw one more. And I got a 6, so I'm looking at 20 also. So we tied on our first fucking hand of blackjack.
Shuffle these.
That's a great question. So Shabani, I was listening to some of your music leading up to this podcast. My first has anybody told you that you sound like Zach Fox?
Nah, actually.
Bro, you have like the
that.
cadence of a Zach Fox
That's
to me,
what's up.
bro.
That's what's up.
Like it's definitely more serious bars than Zach. Like Zach Fox is just. Do you know who Zach Fox is?
I know who he is, but
He just
I thought he
jumps
was
on.
a comedian. I didn't
Bro,
realize
me
he rapped.
too. I literally just learned that he's a fucking rapper. He's pretty fucking good. It's like it's serious. Like it's funny shit for the most part, but at the same time, it's like he's going hard,
Yeah,
bro.
no, I mean, you can be, you can tell jokes, but if you just got good rhythm and rhyme schemes and you technically sound, it's still gonna be nice. So,
Bro, he's like his most recent album. I can't remember what it's called, but it's literally he has a foot holding like a cigarette, like it's his foot holding a cigarette by a bunch of like ashes, and it's fucking insane. But
you like Lil Dicky?
I love Lil Dicky.
Well, yeah, because he's one of those dudes who can rap.
Right.
It's all
And
comedy.
it's all just funny shit. Right. Have you seen his show, Dave?
Yeah, I have.
Bro, that is the funniest fucking shit,
It's
man.
hilarious. The dude can write.
Like Kevin Hart actually writes on that too.
Yeah. He's got this dude. Yeah. The thing is, once you get into Hollywood, I feel like people will work with you. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll get the rap producers, writers, directors, and all that. But
Especially if like people realize that you have talent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like I feel like because that's not necessarily Kevin Hart's comedy. Like like dick jokes and you know what I'm saying? That's not necessarily his shit,
Right.
but I feel like they collabed on that shit like perfectly. Like the end of the first season when he was like getting milked. Like, bro, I just I can't fuck.
Spoilers.
some of that comedy is not for everyone. But
Right. It's very abrasive. It's
Yeah.
very abrasive. Us on 21 the podcast, we talk about dicks probably more than we should. But Mark
it's
and
all
Marcos. But
talking about anatomy,
yeah, so with that whole thing, I wanted to ask, who are some of your inspirations for your music?
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna lead way to like with that old thing, your dick.
So how is it?
I'm like, Jesus.
No, last show we lit.
Get your foot off my dick.
Oh goddamn!
Can't see under the table there. Hey, hands up.
Last show, the funniest shit was we were talking about you know how these parkour people like hang off the side of buildings and shit, right?
Yeah.
And it's like even when you're watching the video and like they're almost about to fall, like your dick kind of tightens up when you're watching it. And then we came to the conclusion that these people are actually just chasing the tightest dick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's just like I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That's a game of life, right? Chasing
It
the
is.
tightest
You know,
dick.
I don't mean to get grim, but a lot of those people die.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Because they're not gonna show those videos,
Right.
But if you see that shit, I'm pretty sure like 60% of them.
bro,
just
there was
fall
one video
to
I
their
did
death.
see where the fucking guy literally fell off the fucking building, and I'm just like, there has to be more of this.
You have done that yourself.
Like, why are these people doing this?
Just trying to get the tightest dick.
All right, let's get back on track. I mean, not that we're off the rails here,
Another day, another dick.
another day, another fucking dick, man. But who would you say, as far as your music style goes, like where did you draw a lot of inspiration, like growing up?
Yeah. So I think So I think I'm good at melodies. I think something I'm good at is just finding the melody when I hear certain notes, certain pitches, and I think that most of that comes from like a lot of like Congolese gospel music because it's just very singy. It's very melodic, and so some of the first like I want to say first moments I figured out how to sing in the right pocket is from Congolese like gospel and just Congolese like rumba and that type of music. But when it comes to just rap, I think of course like Jay-Z is. I personally think is the best rapper.
Bro, do you know I could have guessed that from what you're wearing? I feel like Jay-Z fans like dress a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. See, sometimes I even see videos. I'm like, damn, I'm doing this Hove impressing a little too much. But the thing is, I liked how his style of metaphors. Like it'll start here in the first bar. And then you're still referring to the first bar by like the seventh bar.
Right.
And I think that's dope. But then the biggest hands down influences to me, rap wise and writing wise, is really Lupe Fiasco. I really feel like when I started getting serious, I was listening to his music. It was almost like a blueprint, as in like this dude knows how to paint a picture. He understands imagery. He understands like metaphors and allusions that it takes 3 listens to be like, oh, this is what he was saying. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like those are the best kind of bars. But at the same time, he keeps a message. You know what I'm saying? So I think Lupe was a huge influence when we're just talking about rap, and then of course Kid Cudi. Which the thing is, it's funny you said Zach Fox because I thought you were gonna be like, has anyone told you sound a lot like Kid Cudi?
I did hear a little bit of Cudi in there for sure.
Which I mean, it's cool, but the thing is, everyone says that. So I'm not saying like I try to. It's just that like everyone says that. Right. So every time someone says it, they think they discovered it, and they're like, "Has anyone ever told you sound like Kid Cudi?" I'm like, "Oh, I've never heard that before."
Yeah, right.
But it's cool to start to evolve and branch out and start to realize that maybe I have similarities to other artists here and there, and that's all good. But
well, that's the thing of artistry, man. It's just like everybody's got something from somewhere. So they pulled inspiration from numerous different things. As an artist, that's just the name of the game.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. So the thing is, there's a lot of artists that I listen to often that I would say have influenced my style of music, but you wouldn't necessarily hear it, if that makes any sense, because like Sean Paul has been a huge influence in what I listen to and like, I don't know, music I write to. And, but I don't think I sound like, I don't think there's any similarities with a lot of music in Sean Paul, but he has been a huge influence. So as Michael Jackson, for example.
Yeah.
But that's why I say like strictly rap, Lupe is probably the number one. I feel like there's a whole new thing now where it's cool to hate Eminem. But I think Eminem has been like when it comes to rhyme scheme and lyricism, I think Eminem was, I don't know, man.
Lyricism hands down. Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm at too. Like Lil Wayne is my number one rapper of all time, but Eminem, like there's just something when you look at his actual lyricism, it's unmatched. Yeah, like that guy's fucking nuts.
Just understands.
He never made a club hit. Yeah, and that's where true. He fell short. Like as far as and he wound up still being one of the biggest rappers of all time, you know what I'm saying? But it's like you can't play Lose Yourself in the club. I mean, you can, but
it's all good. Yeah, no facts.
But it's like I think the closest club banger he had was that Lose It song. Just Lose It.
I hate it, but I'll tell you, I hated that.
I hated that song.
I hated being out in that plane.
Right.
Get this.
I bet he fucking hates that song. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I read some shit about how he wrote the Real Slim's. I guess hi. My name is My name is. He wrote My Name Is, and that was a hit. And when the second album came out, they were like, "Yo, can you do another My Name Is?" And that's what the Real Slim Shady is.
Right.
Whereas it's funny how like it wasn't on the album. And, the record label was like, yo, we need you to write this. So it didn't even come from real, inspiration. It's like the Suits said, you got to write this. Right. And he still was able to make, he wrote it. But I'm sure now he probably hates that. He hates hearing that shit because it was like.
Bro, because even on the MMLP2, when he came back, bro, and that's another part of the genius of Eminem as far as lyricism and like staying true to like, there was a skit on the first Marshall Mathers LP, right? To where he was just like he was robbing a bank, and like and you know the people left him and everything, but it literally picked up from where it left off in the Marshall Mathers LP 2. Like that was fucking 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. That's the type of shit that like when I'm listening to music and I hear that shit, I'm just like, holy fuck, like that's fucking crazy as fuck. But yeah, I could imagine he hates a lot of but I think he's also shown that in a lot of his albums too by like playing his fucking the what was his name, Paul whatever the
Paul
fuck
Rosenberg.
Yeah, Paul Rosenberg. It's just
yelling at the suits. Yeah,
like that shit's live as fuck.
That makes sense. But the thing is, I also think like some of the biggest influences I like to think are everyone's biggest influence, if that makes sense. Because Kid Cudi was a huge influence to me personally, but I also feel like almost every rapper post 2009, 2010, there's something that they got from Kid Cudi or got from someone that got it from Kid Cudi. Because I don't think rappers understood how to use the melodies inside the verse as well before,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like singing their verses, if you will. And then also being like in touch with your emotions, like real, you know what I'm saying? Real raw, like pensive, emotional, you know, whether it might be depression or anxiety. They weren't super popular. It wasn't super popular to rap about that. So
right.
I do. So if I were to say like, yo, he's been a big influence to me, it's like, yeah, but who has he not influenced? I feel that way about Cudi, Hove, Lil Wayne, 100%. Because in Texas, when everybody was freestyling, you wanted to drop like a crazy bar, a crazy like metaphor,
right?
And that's what Lil Wayne was doing on the mixtapes, like bar after bar, line after line. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's almost like he was like a, you know, almost like everyone's guidance when it comes to like figuring out how to rap. And he's been rapping since we were kids. So,
right.
So there's a lot of people who I think have been major influences to most people, most rappers, if we're just talking about hip hop. And so I think Lupe, the reason why I always mention Lupe is because I don't even think he still gets enough like credit for how nice.
Yeah, I mean, when you said it, bro, it actually kind of like, because the only Lupe's, I probably know a second Lupe song
right.
if I heard it, but of course Kick Push,
right.
Like that's the one I know for sure. And I know for sure there's a second one, but I can't think of it. But like I never dove into Lupe like at all. Let's go to your second hand, bro, because I do want to bring in one more point about Cudi too. Your first card is a 6.
But hold up, time out.
What's up?
What happens if we tied on the first hand? What's that mean?
Just like we never played it.
Okay, cool.
I gave y'all both points. Should I take them off?
No.
Yeah.
I'll let y'all both have some coin.
Well,
why don't y'all both take this coin?
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, we'll leave it up there. It's best out of 5 hands, so I mean, it just kind of goes like that. So, and then you got a 9, so you're looking at 14, and I'm showing a 5. That's tough.
I'm at 14. Hit me. What are we doing? Go.
You know, you got a 4.
You see me.
So now you're looking at 19.
Nah, I'm staying right there. I'm staying home.
It was a strong hit and a strong stay, but I got a 6, so I'm showing 11, and this is a fucking face card. Boom!
Oh, what is it?
21 is what the fuck it is.
Damn it.
Is that a queen?
Yeah, it was a queen.
Being celebrated. Damn.
So,
Pride.
what I was about to ask was, so, you know, I hear that a lot from artists that, you know, they get a lot from Kid Cudi. I never personally did. And then, of course, the Humming album just really threw me the fuck off to where it was like I just couldn't fuck with it. But when you say that, it does make sense that he was one of the first that was really melodic with some of his hooks and verses.
Right.
And that kind of led to Drake.
Right.
So a lot of artists they respect Drake, but they don't necessarily fuck with Drake. You know what I'm saying? Marcos fucking hates Drake. He's a fucking.
I don't hate Drake. That's not true.
You act like you hate Drake.
I just think that Drake has been, you know, top of the game for so long now that people just, you know, it's the same way people hate LeBron, people hate Brady.
Right.
You know, it gets to a point where it's like, you know, but I mean, I think he's a formidable artist. I do think that he's gotten some influences from Kid Cudi as well. And I mean, do you remember Kanye's album 808 and Heartbreaks?
I knew that's where we were going next.
That-
Yeah, of course I do.
That changed a lot of hip hop too, because then
Yeah.
people started feeling comfortable with like, you don't have to be a singer to be able to sing, if that, and
Well, because that was around the same time that autotunes was coming very prevalent. And you got fucking T-Pain and you got, Lil Wayne was doing, like everybody was doing autotunes at that point. So it was just like, even if you couldn't sing, you could sing.
it's almost like it got refined since then, though. You know what I'm saying? Like back
100%.
then, you're right. It was like turn that shit down. But now, it's almost expected. If you're trying to rap now, you got to be able to sing a little bit on your hook or here and there. So,
Bro, so I'm a huge T-Pain fan too. Like huge. Like he was my favorite artist for like a long time. Just because of the way he kind of innovated the shit, bro. Like I feel like he was probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, from like 2008 to 2012 of an influence, because he changed literal music.
yeah, he was on every hook.
Every fucking hook. And then if he wasn't on the hook, somebody was on auto-tunes using that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, it just changed the whole fucking realm of what was coming out at that time.
Even there's some Hove freestyle that came out back then that he's like
The death of auto-tune.
but it was before that.
Oh.
He was just rapping on some song. I forgot what it was, but he was like, "Yo, turn me on some of that T-Pain shit." As in like, auto-tune has now become
It's T-Pain shit,
like,
right.
synonymous.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's true. That's the thing. Some of these artists were pushing limits in rap that we weren't getting before. That now it's the norm. Like every rapper sings a little bit. At least, So
Well, it's also a different fucking, because of basically the technological advances that we've had since then. Because it was like, I think it was 2009 where I was able to fucking first get my first home studio. Like I had a USB mic, with the pop filter and all this shit. And then I had the free version of Cool Edit Pro 2.0 type shit, like literally starting off in that shit. But it's like today, you can go to fucking Guitar Center for $200 and have a professional studio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like people are, and I think in a lot of ways that's kind of hurt hip hop.
yeah, I think to an extent, but I don't know that I agree with that, because so I asked somebody a little disconnected, but I'm a connected. It's disconnected, but I'm a reconnected. So I asked somebody a long time ago, I was like, do you think Instagram is ruining the art of photography? Because now anybody can just, or the iPhone, anybody can just take a picture of the sky. It's gorgeous. Look at the sky, post it, mad likes, it's popping.
Right.
But what it's really doing is when you see, when someone regular just posts some picture, and then you see a photographer post something and shoot something in their way and then develop it their way, you really see the difference of like, yeah, we might both have similar equipment, but you don't have the eye that a photographer or an artist might have. And so it's true that we've been able to like flood the market with trash music because anybody can just pick up a studio and rap on it.
Yeah.
But that's how the good art, the good music, the good hip hop, or at least better, since art might be.
No, I think that's a perfect way to
put it.
put it.
Shit like floats to the top, and then you see how it separates. There's so many artists that had a hit that was, they had their hit, and then the artist himself was not a very good artist. The music was trash, and they don't last. Like in hip hop, if you have this is mentality in hip hop of like competition. Every rapper is like, it's almost like everybody's trying to get to the playoffs or some shit like that. And so you see another rapper, and it's almost like, damn, now I got to compete with this dude. Now I got to compete with this dude. And so I used to think like, damn, there's so many rappers. Like, how do you even like peak? How do you
distinguish everybody?
Exactly. But what happens is there's generic music where it's like, all right, cool, you sound like a rapper. And then there's trash. There's very bad music. There's a lot of that. That's like 99% of it. So that just gives us a chance to separate yourself by making like quality music. That's the shit that lasts. That's the shit that ages well, or it's timeless, and the other shit is like, let them go pick up a laptop from Guitar Center. It's just going to show how much different a quality album is, you know what I'm saying?
And it's going to show how much money they wasted at Guitar Center.
Exactly.
Right. No, I mean, the photography allegory or metaphor is like perfect for that. That makes total sense now that you've laid it out that way. That makes a lot of sense. So you're an official South by Southwest artist.
Yes.
Is this your first year?
Yeah, first year official. Yeah. It is.
So what does that actually mean?
So, I mean, that's a good question.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought about that today because I've had a few official artists and stuff like that, and I'm just wondering, like, does that just mean like they give us, well, not us, but they give official artists like an artist like wristband, and then
You do get a wristband. It's pretty
Yeah.
dope. It's pretty shiny. No, but what happens is it's South by Southwest. What they do is they come to Austin, and they pretty much buy out or rent out, 80% of the venues
right,
for a week.
yeah,
And then they host their own events at those venues. And so let's say like yourself, 21 the podcast, let's say you got some money or whatever, you get sponsored, you get a South by Southwest sponsored event. What happens is they're going to give you a whole venue, you have your show, and because it's listed on the South by Southwest like schedule and all that, you'll have like way more people coming in just at ease, just
Right.
chilling. Like they have the platinum badge or they have a wristband, and that's when you'll be able to connect and network and branch out with people that like, oh damn, this person's here. This
Right.
wow, people from like press. And so that's what's cool about South by, because it's crazy exposure. So some artists don't like the word exposure because we want to get paid, of course, but it's mad exposure where it's like, yo, you have a chance to be on a stage where anybody could just randomly walk in, and they give you these crazy showcases where it might be like AT&T is having a showcase.
Right.
It's like, all right, the AT&T stage, we want Shabani to perform at that shit. It's like, oh, that's what's up. But that's the official South by. What happens is some of the venues in town are not official venues. Mm-hmm. So they understand that people are coming in town for music or for networking, so they have shows too. And so then you can get on an unofficial show, but you're still performing during South by. You're just not performing at the quote unquote
Right.
bullshit. But people coming to town they just come in town for the chaos.
yeah, 100%.
So if you get on stage anywhere, you're gonna be, you're gonna run into the right people. So that's what's cool. So either way, it's cool, but official, it is different because once they give you the official stamp, you get hit up by different people. You get to meet different people. You get to like wear it as like a sense of pride, as in like
Yeah.
I was, singly chosen by this organization. So
And congratulations, by the way. That's fucking dope
thank
as
you.
fuck.
Appreciate it.
That's fucking dope. So how long have you been in Austin, did you say? Or did you say it
almost 7 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
So of course you've experienced South by for what it was prior to the pandemic.
Yes, I seen all the phases of South by, because when I was living in Dallas, they had South by, so that's when I was a kid. I'm talking about like in like 8th grade, high school. People would drive all the way down, and back then it was like $25, and you get to see all these bands in different places. And so then I remember when we were in college, it was cool because you would see these artists like right before they blow up. Like I remember we saw like Young Thug, we saw what's his name, Post Malone,
Right.
like chilling, like just at the, they might be chilling at the coffee shop or something, and they're
Yeah.
just at the sneaker shop because they're just on the verge, for example.
Yeah.
But then right before the pandemic, I think what happened is it got so popular.
It was horrible.
Madness, man.
It was
like,
the worst.
it was like so corporate, you know what I'm saying? And I hate to sound like the super hippie, but nah, it was out of control. Like
It was.
Every cabbie or whatever you call those things.
Pedicab
had some kind of HBO sponsorship on it. And it's like,
And they were the biggest
what's
dicks
going on
during
here?
South by, honestly.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
those were the biggest dickheads during
Right.
that. Because it's like, oh, it's $40.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, I'm going down the block.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
that's why them scooters, they made them obsolete.
Yeah.
Do you use the scooters?
Fuck no,
I
bro.
use
Look
shit.
at me,
I
bro.
use
You think I'm just downtown riding fucking scooters?
Good point.
Bro, I saw a fucking tweet today where it was like this guy, it's some HBO show, but he was running behind a guy with a scooter and literally pulled him off it, fucking broke the scooter, because all that shit is bullshit to me. I mean, I understand the convenience of riding around and shit, but these things are like, especially at South by, these things are like fucking trash.
Yeah.
Like they pile them up.
That's
People
true.
are tripping over them. People, if they're getting in fights, are getting hit with them. Like, they're a fucking danger, bro.
I agree that I'll say this. I do hate that they're always in the way. Like, because you park them in one little corner and it's like, there's got to be a better way to put these away. But I will also say, if I'm downtown and I'm trying to get to the other side of downtown,
Yeah, I could agree with that.
and a lift is like $30, I'm like, fam.
Right.
But I don't want to walk 13 blocks.
Yeah. No, in that instance, I would definitely. I'm gonna get on a
See the
scooter.
vibes.
You know what's bullshit is did you? And they came out right before the pandemic and then got shut down because of that shit. They had the Revels scooters, like they were basically like little mopeds.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I think it's such bullshit. They came out right before the pandemic, and then it was just like once that happened, like they had to go out of business. Like it was just like they couldn't do it here anymore. But I think that was way more innovative than these fucking scooters.
I mean, I agree.
No
Scooters are
disrespect.
tough.
Ride your scooter.
If I was just always walking, I was already annoyed by them before I started using them. But then I used that shit. I was like, damn, this shit is convenient.
Bro, I have a friend that I've literally been with him at least 4 times, and he's just tripped over a scooter, just randomly like walking down the fucking street, and it's just like this guy's a little bit older, man. It could probably hurt him.
That makes sense.
But
Just gotta keep your head on the swivel. You know?
that is true. Anyways, we're gonna go to your third hand of blackjack. Marcos with the shits tonight, boy. And he don't have the cards up. That's good, man. Your first card is an 8. And your second card is a 7, so you're looking at 15. And I'm showing a 4.
Hit me.
Sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
All right.
Certain.
And you got a 5, so you're looking at 19.
That
That was a strong hit, yeah.
Stop it. I had 19 last time. It wasn't enough.
Yep. And I'm showing a 10, so I got a 4, and so that's 14. And this is probably a face card, and you win. No, but it's an 8, so I got 22, and you still win.
Okay, you see me. So where we at? Two
We're 1-1. 1-1. I'm still saying 1-1.
Nah, because I gave y'all 2.
Oh, so it's 2-2.
these. Yeah,
So
2-2.
the next hand is the final hand. That sounds stupid. We're 1-1.
Yeah. How's it 2?
Marcos
Because
is
y'all
running the
tied.
score.
Y'all tied.
He gave us 1.
I gave everybody coin. I enriched the lands.
That was nice of you. So what do you have planned for South by? Hard stop.
So we got some shows lined up, but I can't publicize them yet. But yeah, we're trying to line up a lot of shows. So yeah, I mean, essentially, I'm just trying to, play all week. We have quite a few shows lined up. That's what's cool to me about South by is like you get a lot of different venues. So at ACL, it's cool because it's like, all right, we're going to go see this artist at this stage, and that's what's up. But at South by, it's like, we're going to play here, and then you pick up your stuff, you go play here, you pick up your
Across
stuff.
town
you go
sometimes.
Here,
It's
yeah,
like
sometimes
shit.
across town, and it's kind of crazy. It's like, where can I cash this artist here, there, and so.
Where's the scooter?
And then you take the scooter.
You got to get on the scooters.
Get on the scooters.
You got to carry all this gear. So off that topic, we'll get off of South by for a little bit. What are some projects that you've been working on lately that you're excited about?
Well, so I did release Shabani's Smooth Sounds of the Summer. That was last summer, last August. And so it hasn't been a year yet, but I am working on some new music now because so during the pandemic, like the 2020, like the year of 2020, I kind of feel bad for a lot of people. Like it really was tough and devastating for the majority of the people. So
Right.
it is tough. Excuse me, to even talk about for certain people. But I personally had a pretty good year to myself because I was able to take time to create like a band. And in Austin, it's tough to get shows if you're a rapper. If you're just a solo rapper, it's just you and a DJ.
But you're performing with a
Can't play
live
everywhere.
band now.
So then I was able to put together a band and like
Nice.
really like make it consistent.
Yeah.
So now you can be versatile. So if you just need the rapper, I can show up, me and my DJ, we're good. But if I need to play at like, because you'll have these breweries or you'll have these venues in Austin that are like, can you play for 2 hours? So I'm like, damn, like you need a lot of space. And then they won't let you play with just you and a DJ. And so with that, I've been able to create almost like a different style of sound. You know what I'm saying? Like another, I want to say like another sector of my style of music.
Yeah.
And so now I like to put together something that involves more of that live sound, but like on tracks. And so I'm trying to, working on, of course, the lyrics and, putting together the musicians and all that. But I'm trying to put out an album that's more, that uses a lot of real instruments, more so than the average sound. You know what I'm saying? But hip hop is still hip hop. So as long as we got the beat, that drum kick, the beat breaks, and a rapper, it's still gonna be hip hop. But we're just gonna dress it up more closer to like something like the Roots is able to do.
Yeah, that shit's fucking live, bro. Like the first time I ever saw a live band with a rapper, it was Lil Wayne. I believe it was my first concert. I went to my first real concert I went to, and he put the fucking band on like this stage, and they lifted up, and it was just like it was tilting and shit. But you felt it so much more than you would have felt like a DJ playing the beat behind him. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got a live fucking drummer there. Like he's feeling the energy too. So it's just like, it's just all synergistically working, man. That shit's fucking crazy.
I mean, I'll say this. A bass line, it hits different when you're playing the bass. When you're hearing an actual bass player, shout out to Cali, you might be watching right now, but when you're hearing an actual bass player really hit that note, it's not like it is in the car. Now, it still hits right in the car, but when you're live and you're hearing the way they're playing with it, it's like, damn, the music is brought to life. And so a lot of good rap artists, a lot of good rap artists, when they go on tour, they'll still use a band just to add to the to the instrumentals, and it works every time. So same thing. The first concert I went to was Lupe Fiasco. Saw him in Toronto in 2008 maybe. And same thing, he brought a band. And I knew who the Roots were, and I had seen it on TV when rappers rap with bands and whatnot. But like seeing it live and hearing the enhancement of the music, it's like, damn, that's what it's supposed to sound like.
Yeah, it's a whole different vibe from like just the instrumental and shit playing. Funny thing you did today, when we posted that you were coming on tonight, you listed a few things that we were going to talk about, and the first thing was the Ukraine crisis, Ukraine Russia, crisis, and then and also the fact on if hot dogs are actually sandwiches. Right now, first off, a hot dog is technically a sandwich if you agree that a cereal is actually soup. Yeah,
I've been trying to say that.
Yeah, bro, I'm saying
people don't have open minds.
I don't think people and I think that's the biggest thing that's hurting everyone is that they can't just open their mind to the reality of what's actually going on.
I mean, if you were to define, if somebody came from like the caveman era, boom, Marty McFly, he takes the DeLorean, comes to the future, and he's like, yo, what is a soup? How would I break that down to him? He's gonna be like, that sounds like cereal. Right? It does. You're using the same words to define this product, this object. So I don't see why we got to put all these things in boundaries. And
the question is, why did you choose hot dog as the hill to die on?
Listen, man, I'm open-minded, so I just
that doesn't help the conversation.
So I just feel like there's a lot of rules and barriers in the world that we got to tear down. Which brings me to the Russian-Ukrainian crisis.
So do you actually have any thoughts on the?
It's funny. My cousins hit me up and they're like, I gotta watch this because I want some smart people to break down the Russian-Ukrainian crisis to me. And I'm like, I wasn't being serious.
Yeah, it's like man. So I work at a news company that has been talking about this all fucking week, and I still don't understand it. The only thing that I do understand, and I don't even know if it's the truth, but it seems as if there's us as like the United States and the media talking about the Ukraine and Russia conflict. And then I see like people on TikTok from Ukraine and Russia that are just like, oh, we don't really give a fuck. Yeah. Like it doesn't seem like a big deal. So my only curiosity is just like, what the fuck is going on with it? Because I mean, I don't think anybody really knows.
To make it super simple, it's almost like a balance in power because the Ukraine is not part of NATO, mm-hmm. And so sometimes when the leadership they were allies to Russia. And so point is, if they go to NATO.
Wait, so I know Russia's not part of NATO, so
Right.
Ukraine's not part of NATO either?
Right, correct. And so if they go, if they fully side, like we decide that we are separatists, well, we're separating from the old Eastern Bloc.
Right.
And go to NATO, it changes. It's just a balance of power issue, if I can make it simple.
Because then it would be like basically the West versus the East in a certain sense.
It's like y'all just picked up a new player. That's nice. You know what I'm saying? Y'all a super team. And so
I've been seeing like a lot of maps of like how World War III would like go, and they're basically filling in the countries as if it's like it's some sort of video game. It's like it turns from red to blue, and it's just like holy fuck, man,
people's lives.
Bro,
but what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
I swear I had something in mind. I just don't know if I was talking about Ukraine or the hot dogs, but either way, yeah. I mean, it's complicated. I just feel like too many people have opinions, though. Like, I wish more people would shut up. I don't mean that in a rude way, but like something happens and everyone's like,
up in arms.
Let me give you my opinion on this. It's like, I don't need your opinion on this. Right. Just relax. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's not like some crazy monumental issue, but I just don't need to hear your opinion.
Agreed.
Like, you stop.
And I feel like there's just with everybody's opinion becomes these teams, and now you're on a fucking team or a different side of something, and it's just like, look, man, we've been dealing with this for way too long to where everybody's just being really separate on a bunch of different issues, no matter what the fuck it is. Thing is, we're all in the same fucking world going through this exact same shit, and it's like, what's more important to you? Would you, rather decide who's gonna, pick whose side in a war, or would you rather just live a beautiful fucking life and mind your fucking business? Because that's what I'd rather do.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I guess it's a blessing that we're not all tied up in these, at least some of these war conflicts, so we can just chill. It's good to stay informed. Like, that's good to read and all that. But I hate when everyone wants to write an article on it. It's like, I'm not trying to read.
And that's where shit gets murky.
Article on it,
because it's like everybody's trying to absorb this information, and a lot of it is not right.
And again, it could be because too many people have opinions.
Yeah,
straight up, y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but honestly, I really believe it would be better if there was like a law that's like, all right, only 2 newspapers are allowed to publicize shit.
That gets murky as well.
I know it gets murky, because the thing is, though, there's so much nonsense out there that people are reading all this shit, and then you get the Pizzagate, you get that type of shit, because it's like, damn, I read this from this guy and that guy and this guy. It's like, yo, let's tone down the number of opinions. Let's bring that down. I don't need to hear this from that guy or that from this dude or whatnot. And like, yo, let the scholars talk about it, and then go learn, go read a book or something. But like, some of these dudes are on YouTube all day. I don't want to get on my soapbox, but I'm not trying to hear that shit.
The type of people that are allowed to be journalists, I do believe, should be vetted in some form or fashion, right? In a sense, but I don't want to also limit that, because I mean, I do believe in the First Amendment, and you know what I'm saying. So it's just
I know I came off mad radical.
No, I don't think it's radical,
but it's true. Like, it should be vetted. But the problem is, where do you stop, right? Because if you start vetting people for YouTube podcasts, it'd be like, okay, I get why we can't vet everybody. But that's some of the issues, is that I could have a popular podcast and I could be talking out of my ass. And I could be like, yeah, you know what it is? Ukraine just found that they have a high number of giraffes and they don't want to trade the giraffes to Russia. And all these Americans are reading this and like, damn, so they're really fighting over giraffes? And they're just going to believe that because this dude has 1 million views. I'm like, nah, take that shit down. That, like,
so listen here, ladies and gentlemen, they're trying to reduce the amount of giraffes that we got.
And we're banned from YouTube for misinformation.
It's just like,
thanks,
no, but I understand where you're coming from with it, because it's just like anybody could pick one minute error of this shit, because you did bring up Pizzagate, and I don't even know how many times we could say that on YouTube before we fucking get shut the fuck down.
That's when we actually got shut down. It was the first time y'all said that shit. That was
I believe it, but it's just like it's like shit like that. Like, you can make anything make sense. You know what I'm saying? If I sit here and talk for a long fucking time and just start fucking breaking down all this shit, not saying there wasn't any lies about Pizzagate. I'm not saying there wasn't a bunch of truth about Pizzagate. But
there wasn't a basement in Comet Ping Pong.
there was not a
We know
basement in
that,
Comic
at least.
Ping Pong, and I think we need to just stop digging into Pizzagate. It's my fault. I keep going. You know what? With that being said, we're gonna go to the fourth hand of fucking blackjack. We're just gonna stop at fucking people start getting shot, and then it's like, oh my god. All right, and your first card is a queen. Your second card is an ace. So you got 21 on 21, the motherfucking podcast. But I'm showing an ace as well, and I got a 2. So we're back tied up. We're back tied up, right? That's 2-2 now.
Nope.
Shabani's up on me.
Yep.
Nah, I think you're keeping score weird over there, Marcos.
Nope.
So
everybody profited from the tie.
So it's 2-1 right now.
Everybody profited from.
Let's
the tie.
imagine the tie
3-2.
never happened.
3-2.
Okay, so it's
With
2-1.
an extra hand, with a bonus round. Let's imagine it a bonus round.
Bonus round. Shit.
I mean, W's is what I do. Sorry. Built different.
So one thing I did want to ask you as a creative and an artist, do you ever get, well, of course you get into sometimes you get into a rut, you know what I mean? Like to where you're not really producing, you know, stuff's not coming out as you know, artistically as it should at the time you would like it to. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you get into a mode like that to where you feel like you're in a bit of a slump, is there something that helps you get out of that?
Yeah, I mean, I try to take in anything artistic, right? Any kind of like art helps me stop thinking about just rap and then just kind of get more inspiration. And so when I say that, I'm talking about like movies, books, you know what I'm saying? I mean, mostly movies and books, TV shows. But even, you know, looking at like visual art, but other forms of art. And I think we live in a good place where we can physically go to museums or whatnot. But also just, I'm always like, you know, trying to figure out like watch random movies or random classics that might be from the 80s or 70s or something like that, or something that's popping. And then, you know, that I've always gotten inspiration from like scripts and movies and good shit like that, good TV shows. And so you want to intake something that's artistic to give you like your muse almost, but you can't just be listening to rap all day to create rap, if that makes sense. So you can't be listening to music all day to create music. Sometimes you need to like something more tangible.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I try to do when I get out of it, and then also try not to force things. I think I learned when I was in high school that rappers would go to the studio and, you know, write at the session. And that's good. I mean, if you got the talent, that's what's up. And I try to stay prepared for moments like that too. But what I do is write all the time. So I'm just always like writing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always putting shit down, writing. And then I end up having like a book of bunch of verses, bunch of lyrics, and then those become memorized. And then I can appropriate those when we get together with a producer, we try to make tracks together. And so it's a very long process rather than being like, here's the track, write a song right now. And it's like, shit, I'm running into a wall. And now it's like, okay, you might get frustrated because you hit that wall and you're approaching a song like it's project management, like it's homework.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that. It should just come to you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think there's many different ways of writing music, making music, coming up with music. But I think it's important to take in other forms of art to make art because you got to get inspiration.
What's another form of like outlet for you as far as art besides making music?
An outlet.
Like, do you draw? Do you?
No, actually, I don't. I will say though. So I've been reading this book about how to write a movie script. Mm-hmm. I have a movie idea.
Nice.
So I have the idea, but I don't even know how to like transfer it to a movie script, if that makes sense.
Well, me and Marcos are here, man. That's what we fucking.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I should have noticed.
Yeah, that's yeah, bro. All this camera gear, right? I mean that's one of my favorite things to do, and I keep running into like I feel like recently I've stumbled upon a bunch of projects all at once, and I do this quite a bit, and I'm also like a self-diagnosed like manic depressant with my fucking art, to where it's like if I have a bunch of projects, like at one point I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna do this, that, the other, and you know what I'm saying? But then it's like there also gets to a point to where it's like, fuck, I want all this to happen now and it's not happening right this second. So now I'm kind of like, fuck it all. You know what I'm saying? So I've gotten into that point recently to where it's like that's where I was at today, bro. Like I put today before you came over, I put on some fucking Luca Brasi 2, Kevin Gates, back when Kevin Gates was still good. Yeah. And it was just like, he's talking about a bunch of shit that like doesn't pertain to my life at all, but it sounds hard as fuck. Right, yeah. And he's like, fuck everybody about it. And that's what fucking literally hyped me up about the shit. So it's like when, I don't even know what, I'm just ranting now. It's like I'm a few whiskeys and beers deep.
Yeah, I feel you when it comes to like, I got this project, and I didn't complete it, but I don't know. I think it's better to have something than nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
Have a lot of like unfinished songs where I go to this one and that one's unfinished, and eventually it's a whole thing. By the time you realize you're 80% done with a project maybe, or even a song, that's when you start to focus on like, how can I tie it all in? My problem is just not finishing things. Like, just, you know, I'll feel like, oh, it's almost done, and you come to realize it's been almost done for like months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my issue. But
I think that's a big thing with a lot of artists, because it's like we also never feel finished. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like anything could be better, no matter if we complete it or not. Yeah. It's like there could still be shit to where it's like you can make it perfect.
I had I was in Dallas recently. A good friend of mine that I hadn't seen in a long time was telling me about one of my albums. And he was like, yeah, I've been following your career. Like, I love your music, but this particular album, I think is your classic. And I hadn't heard it, I think, like since I had released it. And I went back to listen to some of it. And all I was doing in my head was correcting things. I was like, we could have probably mixed this differently. And the vocals here were probably a little louder. Like the ad-lib vocals here are probably louder than it should be. And this and that, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be like that. It's going to be like a growing, you know, an expanding universe.
Yeah.
You know, so, but I do feel like you can come to a point where it's like, it's finished enough. I'll say that. But
it's ready for the world.
I heard this thing about how Steven Spielberg a couple years ago found out that dinosaurs might not have looked the way that they do in his movie. Like they might have had like feathers.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, we might have to redo that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
dang, imagine
we might have to bring that shit and bring everybody back. But I mean, I'm sure even directors think that shit when they're looking at the stuff and they're like, man, was this angle right? Was the lighting right? You know, so.
Dude, my worst thing, and Marcos we've talked about this before, so I know he agrees. But as soon as we finish a project, like to where it's like we're exporting out the final project, really for me, it's probably about at least like once I see what the project is, as soon as I see what the project is, I fucking hate it. I hate it, and I'm just ready for the next fucking thing. Because no matter how good it is, it's like I know it's good, and it's it's ready for the world, it's ready to be seen and everything like that, and it's good, but I hate it immediately.
I have things like I have songs that exist in my head for like a year, as in like when I get to the studio, I'm gonna do it this way, and it just sounds a certain way in my head for a long time. And I go to the studio and I lay it down, and it's not what I expected. And so the engineer or somebody else might be in the studio, like, oh yeah, this should go hard. What are you talking about? But it's like, this is not what I had envisioned, and now I hate this.
Yeah,
delete this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And the thing about it is, though, as a creative, like, you got to know you'll make another one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's okay if this isn't it. You know, every time I make a lot of sports metaphors because I'm like a football nerd.
No, go for it.
I always hear they'll say quarterbacks have to have a short-term memory because let's say you throw an interception, make a fumble, you take a sack you weren't supposed to. You can't think about that now. Like now you're on to the next play. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just sit on that. So it's the same thing as creatives. Like, okay, well, this song didn't work, but if I'm a creative, I'm gonna create some more shit. So it's all good.
Yeah. Who's your team?
So this is gonna be a wild answer, but I've been a diehard Patriots fan for a very long time.
Of course you have.
For a very long time, man.
And then
It's
you
true.
became a Buccaneers fan?
Well,
Oh my God!
Say his name.
Say his name. Exactly. Say his
I'm
name.
gonna say I'm open. I'm open right now. Like I said, I'm an open book. So I did not appreciate the way they let go Tom Brady, the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? And so when he left, I was like, I want him to win over there. But also,
Yeah.
there are so many Tom Brady haters in the world. I was like, if he wins over there in his first year, what can you say now? I don't want to hear shit. But now that the man finally has gone to rest, he's out. You know what I'm saying? He did what he needed to do, sit and satisfied like Thanos at the end of Avengers. I have decided, I'm saying this on air right now.
All right.
Y'all see me, you see me. I've decided to come back home and be a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan.
My guy. My guy.
See me.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
Welcome fucking back,
Back,
man.
You see me. Shout out Jerry.
Jeez Louise. Shout out Jerry. Shout out to Jerry. Next podcast is in AT&T Stadium. That shit would be live as fuck. Bro, oh my gosh. I can't blame you, man. I truly understand Tom Brady fans. I don't want to say Patriot fans or Buccaneer fans. I understand
No, it's
them
all good.
because it's there's a thing about winning that feels fucking great. But I do also, like, I am a Tom Brady hater if he's on the field against the Cowboys.
That makes sense.
As a person, he's a pretty good guy. Yeah. Like, whenever I saw him, and I hate Gronk too. I hate fucking Gronk. But when I saw Tom Brady throw the fucking Lombardi trophy to Gronk on a fucking boat, I'm just like, I kind of like these guys. It's like, I'd be on a fucking boat with these fucking people. All right. So we're going to, what's the actual score, Marcos? 2-1? I still got a chance in this, right? So we're going to the fourth hand, technically.
Technically.
And your first card is a 6. And your second card is an 8. So you got a 14 again. That's 3 14s in a row. And I'm showing a 5. I've been showing a 5 on all your 14s as well.
3 14s in a row. That's 6 7s.
About to run out.
All right, so hit me.
You got a 9, so you bust.
Damn it.
All right, so we're all tied up.
Damn.
And only because I have to piss really bad. Marcos, can you clear those cards quickly? Or do you want to go to break real quick? Let's take a quick break. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do the fifth hand, and then we'll finish everything up.
Okay.
Sounds good? So we're back with the highly anticipated Dallas Cowboy fan, David Shabani. So,
introduction.
Shabani, have you ever heard of Shabana Motors in Houston?
I have.
Yeah.
Only because someone from Houston, and they were like, Shabanitize me.
Yes, yes.
I was like, how?
Oh my gosh,
How did I not
yes,
trademark that?
bro. Because I was
From
telling.
Houston always tell me that shit.
Bro, that shit is fucking hilarious that you know Shabanitized me.
I don't know how they got to that before me. I love to use that.
Bro, Shabana Motors, man. I don't know. I bet their credit system is completely fucked up and it's going to fuck you over, but Shabanitize me should definitely be like,
means.
yeah, that should be like if you had a cereal brand or like a soup brand, it would be like Shabanitize me.
I mean, I guess soup or cereal, it would be the same brand.
It's the exact same thing. Comes in the same can, I believe.
Would soup come in a can if we start classifying it like that?
Soup comes in a can right now, but the other soup would also come in a can.
I mean, talking about soup, not soup.
That's a
can't
good
put
point.
Cereal in a can, right?
I think you could.
But cereal's a cold soup though,
That's true.
like a chowder.
Yeah. Oh, not like a chowder.
Isn't chowder cold?
It is, but when you start, chowder's not a soup.
Okay, well now, I mean,
Now we're getting into the nitty.
what are we doing here?
Quick,
Chowder's definitely more of a soup than cereal is.
Yeah.
I disagree. I disagree hard. I feel like chowder is more of a melted aged cheese.
Okay. I mean, honestly,
And it's cold.
You got a point. Because I guess oatmeal's not soup. Right?
That is true. It's not a soup. Quick request. Can you say sorry for me real quick?
Sorry. You thinking? You thought I was gonna say sorry?
Yeah. I mean, I figured.
That's why I said sorry. I will not fall for this.
So, how big was Degrassi in your upbringing?
It was pretty big, but not that big. I didn't watch it, but yes, a lot.
You didn't watch Degrassi?
A lot of people watch it. I've seen like one season. And yeah, that's it. But my cousins loved that show. They loved that show.
I fucking wound up watching like in and out pretty much the entire like thing of it.
Thing, yeah.
It's fucking crazy. It's like it's
those schools always like over sensationalize high schools. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no high school in the world that's that interesting.
It's like I've never watched Euphoria.
Oh.
But it sounds like it sounds almost more true to high schools of today.
Yeah, I watch Euphoria.
Do you?
Shit slaps.
Yeah. Did you finish I mean, is it all the way out already? I don't even know.
No, it's weekly. It's
no
weekly.
spoilers. No spoilers, by the way. But
Nah, I don't know.
it seems like it has you pressed, bro.
Nah, that shit is heavy. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's a heavy show. But the thing about what's wild about Euphoria, I mean, you haven't seen it, but I actually went to all white high school in Dallas Fort Worth. Shout out white people, you know what it is.
Shout out white people. No, that was somebody buying us a shot. Who was
I
that?
thought you were doing
Andy in the background buying us shots.
I thought you pressed the thing for like boom, 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 Europe.
Shouts to white people.
It's Black History Month. Take back that shout out. Sorry, just kidding.
Give us some music, Marcos. Let's get a shot. What do you want a shot of tequila or a shot of whiskey?
Tequila.
Marcos, can you handle the tequila for us? That was hilarious. Oh, well, turn down just a tab, Marcos.
I mean, if that shit right here, I can just...
Marcos, are you taking a shot of tequila? Oh.
No, the hand.
So I have family watching this, and my entire family thinks I'm an alcoholic. So,
Shouts to the Shabani family.
so we're just re-emphasizing their belief in me.
I mean, hey, what are you gonna do? It's a Wednesday night. I mean,
What am I supposed to do, not drink?
Cheers, Shabani. Cheers to Andy for buying us a shot.
Shut up.
Anyways, you were saying about Euphoria.
I was saying that I went to a high school that had similar conflicts that you see in Euphoria. So when people watch that, they're like, man, they're doing it too much. I'm like, nah, that shit.
I have heard that it seems like it's a little like it's almost like they're overdoing doing it.
I mean, it is a show, right? So they're all going to be creative with it.
Sensationalizing.
Yeah, but a lot of the main subjects are true because a lot of it is it's almost as if it's talking about like neglection. Like some of these high school kids have too much freedom and they have no guidance and they're just doing the wildest shit. And that shit was the case to a lot of the kids that I knew in my high school.
Yeah. And you said you went to DFW high school.
Yeah.
Can I ask which one?
Colleyville Heritage High School. But
Where-
the thing is,
Where is that?
So it's in the town. The school is in a town called Colleyville, but it covers, people go there from Euless, from Grapevine.
Oh, okay.
Mid cities is what we call them.
Right.
Fort Worth. So the cities right between Dallas and Fort Worth is mid cities.
Yeah.
But the zoning is wild because that school is in a super, like, very rich neighborhood. Probably one of the richest in the state, if not like top 5, and got to be like top 25 in the country in terms of how many millionaires are in one little block.
Right.
The thing is, though,
Because you got like
Excuse me.
Prosper out there and all that shit too.
yeah,
That Dion-
Prosper's a little further out, but yeah, Prosper's out there too, and so there's money out there. But
Yeah.
the thing is, the way the zoning works, I didn't live in that town when I went to that high school. Meaning, you have kids in that school that are super crazy rich. Their family, both their parents are millionaires. Let's say, for example, and then you have kids going to the same school that are like on Section 8 because
Right.
of the zoning.
Yeah.
And so you visualize, you can see in the school the inequality, like not necessarily as in, like the kids,
almost
but, like,
segregation though.
almost you see it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's almost like if you come in from that bus, there's a stigma. If you come in on a bus at all, because most of the kids are getting cars
Right.
by the time they're 15, 16, 16 legally, right? And so it's like a whole thing. So I feel like I witnessed some of the stuff I see in some of these TV shows and whatnot, even just in real life from somewhat there, but from a distance, And so I'm not trying to get too profound, but the show is dealing with, like, the main character is a heroin addict.
Is that Zendaya?
Yeah. And that shit happens in those type of schools.
You know what I do know about Euphoria,
find out?
and I feel like it's bullshit? I do know there's a lot of titties and dicks being shown,
Yeah.
except for Zendaya's.
Yeah. I mean, she's got to a
that's-
point where she
I think
doesn't
that's
really
bullshit.
want to.
I still think that's bullshit, though.
Wait, where's the bullshit?
I'd like to see Zendaya's titties. I know exactly what they look like. I just feel like she should show them. The white girl in it, she did this this movie. Fuck, I can't remember what the movie's called, but it's called The Voyeurs. The main white, well, I assume she's the main white girl. I don't know, but she did this movie, The Voyeurs, and she goes topless in that movie. She's basically doing. I think she actually does full frontal, but it was just like.
She, I will say that character you're talking about, Sydney Sweeney, she is naked often in that TV show.
In the
Euphoria.
Oh, okay.
But I think they try to balance it, and that's why they have a bunch of dicks. Because, I don't know, I guess they wanted to give us 50-50.
The worst
There's
part-
definitely a lot of penises.
The
on
worst
screen.
part is like don't
girls
say nudity and then show me a bunch of dicks. HBO, like it's like I get it, but it's like giving everybody forewarning. But it's like if we're gonna show a bunch of dicks, let's show some titties too. But yeah, 50-50. It's like, hey, if we're showing titties and like everybody's enjoying, everybody loves titties. I feel like
I don't think I'm at a place still to see dicks on TV.
makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's a lot.
Why is that?
I feel like it's new. Am I tripping? Like, do you feel like when we were younger,
is kinda
like,
new.
when it had nudity, it was just
Right.
boobs. It was titties.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Maybe
And
some bush.
even on Cinemax, it was
Even
just,
then,
yeah,
that's like pushing it.
right, exactly. Like on Cinemax, like there was never insertion. You really never saw dicks. You only saw titties and bush.
Exactly.
It is kind of new.
And now it's like fucking dicks. Goddamn.
Fucking dicks are just yeah, man. Welcome to 21 the podcast.
Another dick.
That is interesting though that it is kind of new.
So I'm just not, it's just new to me. So I'm just like, okay, I don't know if I'm ready for all that yet. Shout out to your creative,
Right. Yeah. I fuck with the vision, but it's just like the vision's a little abrasive. A little abrasive.
Little bit of dicks in there.
I'm trying to think of the first time that I like actually saw dick on like a movie or something to where it was just like, holy fuck this. Oh, it was I always want to say it was Californication, like the movie, but I don't know if this even happened in that. But there was a movie where a guy and a girl were in some sort of mud bath, like hot tub. And the guy got out and he was like, the people were talking shit to him about to drive off and they were flipping him off. And the dude was just standing there naked and he was just like, yeah, whatever. And I was watching it with my mom and my mom was just like, yeah, well, when your dick's out, you're pretty much like, fuck you too. And I'm just like, oh, makes sense. So this is the new middle finger.
It's in the middle of the body.
Right. It's the hardest middle finger you got.
I remember Harvey Keitel in Bad Lieutenant left a scar on me as a kid. He walks around with his dick out.
Okay.
Was this
I never,
was this a silent
what's crazy
film?
is I like Harvey
No,
Keitel.
Harvey Keitel?
I've never seen that movie.
I don't know
It's
who
a
that
classic.
is.
It's he's the dude, he's in a lot of things. You seen Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
He's shit, I guess he's the main actor, right? Is he Mr. He's the one that stays till the end.
Oh.
He's
Yeah,
trying to defend the snitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in a bunch of shit. But I didn't know he was out here.
He was the
giving
wolf.
business
He was
like
the
that.
wolf in Pulp Fiction too. It was like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The wolf.
let's not all start sucking each other's dicks.
Of course, he's the one that showed dick though. He's just like, bitch, I'm the wolf. Like don't fucking play with me.
He freaks out on drugs in Bad Lieutenant with a gun in his hand. And he's just got his dick out, and I was like, what's going on here?
I feel like,
So if you're an actor, you would go full frontal?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel like
I don't know if I want everyone, I don't know if everyone deserves to see me like that. You know what I'm saying?
understood.
Like,
That's a fair point.
some people have to earn the right.
I just don't think it's special enough to hide. and I mean, if you've seen one dick, you've seen them all.
Yeah, his vision includes dicks, okay?
Yeah, it's just like, hey, look, at some point, my dick's gonna be out. Welcome to the show. It's like that's how I would open it
I
up.
wonder which actors, even women, I wonder which actors are like, I would never,
Right.
and which ones are like, shit, put me there everywhere.
Yeah.
Every scene, I'm ready to go. Because Game of Thrones, the first couple seasons, did you watch Game of Thrones?
Never.
That shit was pornography. The first couple seasons. You know what I'm talking about?
Like they were just out there
I saw
fucking.
it.
Yes. Yes.
Like in these frozen tundras.
Yeah. In the tundra, inside the tundra.
Dick out.
It was a lot.
Some
But then it got
slapping.
so popular that they were like, we don't even need to do this anymore. People are going to watch it.
Yeah, we need to
anyways.
back.
And
Yeah.
so I wonder if actors think the same way. As like first couple scenes, I'm going to go crazy.
Right.
And then after that, it's like, nah, I'm up to the neck cover.
Right. Yeah, because there are quite a few actresses that have did it early in their career, and then it's like, okay, no, I've done that already. It's like I'm not gonna do it.
So
again.
how do we know which directors, which male directors are just, this is just a scene. It makes sense for the scene for you to be naked in this particular part of the movie. And which directors just like, what's up, get naked? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, which directors are really just doing it for that reason?
Like you
So
think
if-
it's slime ballish?
I'm sure there's some that
100%.
are, right? And
Right.
so if you're an actor, you wouldn't even know is it really worth it? Is this dude really, you know what I'm saying? Or this director, it could be a woman too.
Like you think James Cameron was just scoping out Rose's boobs for a long time on the Titanic? And it was just like, I need to get her on because I need to see these titties.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wasn't in the casting
I don't disagree.
no, you're out of here. You
Yeah, those titties
you're
just
not equipped
are
for
going to
this.
work.
I'd like to take this time to point out I have put some titties and a dick on YouTube, and you can watch this shit on YouTube. I have made
How's
music
that legal?
videos.
I'm
It's
about to
not.
snitch. I'm about to snitch on you.
No, it's public.
I'm gonna report your shit.
It's public. It's just
Yeah, we're reporting thumbs down. No,
check out all the Primitive Man videos.
the
There's titties
the
and
crazy
dicks.
thing about what he's saying is at one point damn, and I forgot all about that short I was talking about. But basically, I at one point came across this trend where people were opening up mystery boxes, right? And it would just be a bunch of weird shit. So I was trying to make it kind of gory, and I asked Marcos, I was like, hey man, I know you've shot some horror shit. Like, let me get some of that footage to like make for this fucking weird thing I'm doing. And then he gives me a bunch of footage of this guy like swimming around ass naked in a pool of blood with just dicks out and everything. And I'm just like, now I'm like, Marcos, I've known you for 2 months. I was like, this, yeah. I was like, well, what's going on here?
You know what I think is hilarious is that some people actually believed that we were going to talk about the Russian-Ukrainian crisis and the global state of inflation, and now they're just like, what?
We did, though.
We
now
did.
They're like, excuse me?
Yeah, we touched it.
We touched it with the dick, baby.
Am I on the wrong podcast?
Just a tip. Just a tip.
All right, so we're going to the fifth and final, the final countdown right here. The last hand. It's 2-2, 3-3 if you go by Marcos's rules. And your first card is a 3. And your second card is a 9, so you're looking at 12. I'm showing a jack.
Hit me. Got to, clearly.
You got a 6, so now you're looking at 18.
Again with the 18.
Yeah.
He's never had an 18 before, folks. For those who are keeping count.
Is this our last game?
It's our last game.
Last hand?
You can't go over 21. If you go over, you already lose.
Right. But in Vegas, or is it custom to think about it for this long?
Yeah, you can think about it for as long as you want in Vegas. Well, not as long as you want.
Right. Okay.
But the dealer would at one point be like, I don't know, because I am showing a jack. So you got to think that I have a face card under here.
Okay, so damn. All right, I'm gonna stay home.
That's a good state. Because I got a 4. So I got 14.
I'm about to snap.
And I got another 4, so you got 18. It's 18-18.
What's that mean?
Means we're gonna go play one more hand. Give me some more intrusive music, Marcos, while you clear those cards. Because we're still going to the 5th fucking hand. Quit pushing. Clear the goddamn cards, Marcos.
They weren't all stacked on different pages. This shit would happen so much.
Oh no! Now we're
faster.
talking shit. All right.
Motherfucker.
I'll be better
Never
for you,
let
Marcos.
me talk. Be good for me.
And your first card is a 6. Your second card is a 3, so you got 9. While I'm showing a queen.
All right, another one.
Next card is 8, so you're showing a 17.
All right, so let me think about this. If I got a 2, I'm good. 3, I'm good. 5, I'm not good. I can only really get 3 cards.
Yep, that's a pretty low percentage.
All right, well, we're gonna gamble it.
What?
Yeah, let's go. I believe in it.
All right.
You never know. What if there's a 4?
Sure.
Yes.
You got a jack. Let's just see what I had.
Man.
I had a jack. You had to go for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You had to go for it.
I really thought maybe like a 4 would come out.
It could have, but it did not. David Shabani, bro, I really appreciate you coming by, man. This has been a great conversation. I think it's a great.
Hope so.
Honestly, when I think about like all the artists, the musical artists and shit that I've had come through, I don't think I've talked to them as much artistry as I have with you, and I really appreciate that.
What's up?
Like I feel like we got a more inner depth into that type of shit. And as you can tell by how I'm talking, I've been drinking quite a bit. And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to 21 The Motherfucking Podcast. And if you're still here, make sure you scroll down and click subscribe. Shabani, before we let you go, I want you looking in this camera one more time. This one right here. Tell people where they can find you and all the good stuff. Anything that you forgot, need to let people know and anticipate for a further dimension to recreate and look upon and dissect.
Right.
Period.
Okay, facts. I thought you were gonna go in on the giraffes in Ukraine, but so
That's a big point.
my name's David Shabani. That's how it's spelled. Real name, no gimmicks. Shout out Obi Trice. So you can look it up just like that. Find me on Spotify, Apple, Tidal, YouTube, all the good stuff. Amazon Music, and you can go straight to my website, ifeelgoodrightnow.com. Easy to remember.
You got I feel
Good right now. ifeelgoodrightnow.com.
That's a pretty good
I
fucking
own
URL.
that. I own that phrase. If I hear you saying that, give me my 10 Venmo me ASAP. Or
IFeelGoodRightNow.com.
ifeelgoodrightnow.com or the acronym also ifgrn.com. So y'all can check that out. I'm on IG, David Shabani, Instagram. Follow me. I will maybe follow you back. Some people lie. I'll follow you right back. No, they're lying. Follow me. There's a chance I might follow you. I might follow you back. You never know. But yeah, check me out. South by Southwest. I'll be there. If y'all coming in town, I'll be playing all over the city. And yeah, holla at me. New music coming soon. That's the vibes.
Fuck yeah, bro. Well, shouts to Shabani. Shouts to Marcos Morales. Marcos did a great job tonight, man. I don't say that often. And so y'all make sure y'all save that on y'all's phones. Me saying that Marcos did a great job tonight because it's not coming many more times. My name is Drew at Mr. Oh So Cool, and this is 21 the motherfucking podcast. Fuck you.